I was literally like 20. Yeah.
Whose kid is this?
Yup.
Whose kid? Whose kid?
Should we read the lyrics?
No.
This the kind of beat to go, this the kind of beat to go, this the kind of beat to go, rock, top, top.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Petty Headquarters. I'm your host, Tiana Locke, and this is...
Jesse Strange.
And today we are going to be diving deep into Kanye West's mind and seeing how it works, because clearly we don't know how it works. And
Is
we're going to be...
Is that what we're diving into?
We're diving into more than just that. We're obviously going to, also talk about his daughter, Northwest, and,
Well, let's talk about how it even came about, right?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I wanted to cover this topic because I thought it was interesting. Recently, Kanye had a listening party in Phoenix, and he had announced, he had given the stage to his daughter to announce that she's coming out with an album called Elementary School Dropout.
I'm like, wow. Okay.
And I thought that was interesting because...
Like, who came up with that name? Because Kanye is giving College Dropout Part 2. Like,
well, it is. It's supposed to. So the announcement, which was made on March 10th, I believe. Let me confirm that. Yep. March 10th. Well, on March 10th, that made 20 years and 1 month after the debut album, College Dropout.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is purpose in that. And so we're going to dive deep into it today. We're going to talk about it. I'm excited. Are you?
Yeah, I am excited. I just want to give a little disclaimer. Like, thank you to the people that tune into the podcast. Thank you to people that actually like the podcast and come back and return. If you don't, then don't come back. It's really not that deep. So yeah, I mean, if you like it, share it. If you love it, you love it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It's very simple. So yeah, let's continue.
So that's a disclaimer?
Yeah, it's a little disclaimer because people be mad that, like, there's podcast episodes. But, like, we release episodes every Tuesday at 4. Like, people are busy. I'm sorry that you're not getting sim stuff all the time. But, like, it'll come. Oh, yeah. So, it'll come. So calm down.
So that comes from there's certain comments that were made that they just only want the channel to be uploaded.
They want a separate channel for, like, sim stuff. And it's like, no.
At the end of the day, it's Petty Sim Productions, and Petty Sim Productions is a production company that, owns the shows and whatever.
It's not a production company, girl. Relax. But yes, it is like a bigger umbrella where other subgenres fall underneath it, right?
Right.
So, that's what it is.
Okay.
So, like, I just don't got the time.
Had to get that off your chest.
I had to get off my chest because bitches be busy. Like...
She a little aggy today.
No, because, aggy. Like, bitches be busy, bitches don't got time.
Explain
like,
yourself.
No, but it's annoying. So, like, yeah, this is the little disclaimer. So, yes, if you like the podcast and you're tuning in because you like the podcast, I appreciate you. If you don't like it, then don't tune in. It is that simple. Wait on the other content. Like, I'm busy. There's nothing else to say but that. Okay, we are on a schedule for the podcast, like every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Like we say this all the time. Even when I was doing the sim shit, y'all knew we gonna have a podcast.
Now, this is only for those specific people, y'all. Anybody else that tunes in because they love the podcast, we know we fuck with y'all. We here for the conversation.
Right. I mean, I fuck with everybody, but, like, I am human. Humans get a little agitated.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Especially on days like this, right? So, we work hard.
Not on days like this.
Because on days like this, and this is really how we're feeling, since this is a podcast, you guys get to, a little window into us. We work full-time jobs, and this studio is provided by our hard work and money. So, we come here, we put in our last bit of energy into the podcast and to make it the best that we possibly can with the time given and just having us as a team, that when you get those type of comments, it's very easily like, it's so annoying because y'all really don't know even the sim stuff. It's so much work. Yeah, like every time she's making a sim video, I don't see her for the day.
8+ hours. Like, especially if it's something intricate, like mad people involved. Like, come on now. Like, you gotta get the shots, then you gotta edit. Like, come on now.
But for the people that do like the sim stuff, I'm trying to talk her into doing one of these videos.
I'm brainstorming.
So it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
But like, just wait on it. And also, you have to understand, like, people sometimes need to be in creative spaces mentally to even create certain things. Like, you know.
True.
And like, when you're not mentally feeling good, how are you gonna create? Like, relax.
I mean, we should ask Northwest because clearly she's getting real creative these days.
I love how you brought it back. I love how you did that.
You know,
okay.
Call me a little transition queen over here.
A little transition queen or whatever.
Well, what was I gonna say? So yeah, I'm really excited because I think this raises a good question and a good topic that a lot of people really aren't covering, or if they are, it's really getting lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
Kanye West. Yeah, I think everybody knows who Kanye West is. He's an artist, an American artist.
Clothing designer.
He's a creative and a trendsetter. Right. Controversial figure, has always spoke his mind. Has, many years in the industry. Has a daughter with Kim Kardashian, the oldest, named Northwest. And Northwest had originally came out with her single. She was featured on a single with Ty Dolla $ign and Kanye called it's called Talking Once Again.
Okay.
And we all know that song. Go ahead, sing it.
I don't know it.
Hey, Miss Westy
is trying to test me.
Yeah,
gonna get messy.
All right.
Bless me.
It's a cute song, right? It's really cool or whatever. And so the fans loved it. What did you hear it? Did you actually hear the song?
I heard it, but I didn't hear the whole thing.
Yeah, it's cool. It's good. I liked it. And a disclaimer. I like Northwest. Like I love. There's no hatred here.
No, there is no bashing.
There's
of the
kids,
okay.
right? I just wanted to be known. Like Northwest is.
I love her.
She's a superstar.
Since day one, y'all.
Yeah, you loved her.
Born superstar.
Yeah,
okay.
She's got a crazy personality. You could tell she's so unique and different, and she's gonna be something one day. And I'm not here to get online and try to bash her. Right. It's actually the adults I'm actually criticizing. But even then, it's kind of like, well, we'll get into it. So, anyways, she came out with the feature on Kanye's song with Ty Dolla $ign, and then on March 10th, they had announced at the listening party for Vultures that she was going to have her own album called Elementary School Dropout, which was a tribute to her father's college dropout album. It was purposely, I think, in my opinion, there's no coincidence that it was only 20 years after that album and 1 month. And so, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about all that? Like, what do you think about the idea of Kanye's daughter at the age of 10 years old making music and having this whole album and having all this stardom attention at this age and Kanye endorsing it?
I just think it's really interesting how Kanye was so quick to say, oh, my daughter's not going to be on TikTok. My daughter's not going to be on social media. But you want to expose her to the world with this album. Yeah. Like, granted, I don't know what kind of monitoring there is. I'm sure there's monitoring and management. But also it just kind of feels like, whose idea was it to name the album Elementary School Dropout? Yes, I know North is very animated and she could speak up for herself. Right. And it seems like she is daddy's girl. So, but sometimes I just wonder, like, especially with Kanye knowing what the industry does, knowing what it brings, knowing that it fucked him up at many times in his career, it's like, well, why want your daughter to go through that. Or maybe he thinks in his head, oh, I'm Ye now, so I could do this and she won't have to worry about this. So
Because
I
of his
really,
connections.
yeah, exactly. Because
And
his
he'll protect
connections.
her.
Right. So that's why I just wonder, like, what is going on in his head? Because I just don't know.
Right.
I think it's a little contradicting.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you bring up a good point, right? Like he was so adamant about, you know, exposing his daughter to the world. And this isn't to say that we didn't know who North was prior to that, right? But when you're putting her out there on a platform of, first of all, you have her in a music video now. And this is the same type of criticism I give to family YouTube channels, right? Because it's like you're the reason why we're having this conversation right now is because I made a very strong comment the other night. And I wanted to explore the question. My question I asked Tiana was, do you think Kanye is exploiting Northwest? And I think that's what brought us to this, because that was my original question. After my research, I mean, I can't say necessarily the word exploiting is the word.
Right. That's what I was saying to you that night. I was like, exploiting is a little crazy because what is he getting out of it? Like,
but that leads perfectly to what I'm thinking. Because that was the question. What does he benefit? Because he has all the money.
Right.
And usually when you have those Hollywood moms and dads that want their children to be something because they want them to provide for something that they can't do, right? Like they're usually, the kids are the breadwinners when you're put into.
But in this case, that's not the case.
Right. So that was your question. How does Kanye benefit? Because that would be exploiting.
Right.
But we all know Kanye to be an egotistical human being.
Yeah, egotistical maniac.
Egotistical, and has lost his way, unfortunately, you know, throughout the years in the industry, because the only person that has kind of kept it real with him was his mother, and she's not here anymore. And then you have a bunch of yes men who just want to leech off of you. They'll never tell you about yourself, and you're Kanye. No one can tell Kanye anything but Kanye. Like, you know what I'm saying? He has that attitude.
You can't tell me nothing. You can't. La, 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 till I get my money.
No, it's true.
Stop.
Yo, you want to start singing?
Yo, I love Kanye. So this is why this conversation is going to be very interesting. Because
he's all right. So he's very egotistical. So I think, in my opinion, would you say that he's benefiting from an egotistical standpoint, because it's his legacy? The album wasn't Northwest is your bestie. It wasn't. It was Elementary School Dropout, which is still a tribute to Kanye. So it is a branch of him. If it was something that specifically was about Northwest and only about her, I would say, all right, he really doesn't benefit, right? But in my opinion, you got to put yourself in a mindset of someone who is, you know, a narcissist, someone who just wants to hear themselves speak, someone who knows, and not, Kanye is a genius. Don't get me wrong. Like, he drops a lot of gems, but he's also, like, he says a lot of crazy stuff that is also, like, not cool, crazy out of pocket too.
Right.
So it's like, you know, I'm not taking any type of credit from that, but I'm just saying, put yourself in that standpoint. You don't think that Northwest is something that he looks like, oh, that's my legacy, that's my daughter, that's a version of me. So he's not benefiting from the money, but mostly benefiting from another version of stroking his ego.
Yeah, that can be an argument, but why can't it just be, oh, you know, this is my pride and joy of a daughter? And, you know, like I said, North is a daddy's girl. We know this. We see this, right? What if she just really loves her father and just wants to dedicate, knowing his legacy, because she said her favorite album, was Vultures?
Well,
which is another controversial point that people had caught on TikTok.
Let's read it because I have it here.
Okay.
North had posted something on TikTok and it was immediately deleted. Mind you, she shares this account with Kim, but it was a post of, I guess in school, they had asked her these questions to answer. So I'm going to read them to you. The question is, what are 3 things that you're grateful for today? And she wrote, I am grateful for Vultures 1 album because it is insanely good. I am also grateful for the Black Vulture because if vultures weren't alive, this amazing album wouldn't have come out. lastly, I am grateful for the song Carnival,
Right.
which is a song on vultures that, you know, is out right now that you can go listen to. And it caused a lot of controversy because Carnival, if you listen to it, it has derogatory words. Obviously, it's just like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a song.
And people were dragging it. Like, what is Kanye exposing his daughter to?
You think people were dragging it?
They were. I think people were dragging it because, be for real, like, when we were kids, we was listening to some shit we had no business listening to.
But I don't think that it has to do with the fact that Carnival is like, I think that people were really.
He was talking about getting head on the song Carnival.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying. I'm saying. To me, that's not the alarming part of the post.
Okay, what's the alarming part?
That
she drew the front cover of the album,
and she drew the front cover of the album. No, that's not the. I think it's the when you look at a kid and they draw something, it reflects what's on their mind at the time, right?
Okay.
And the fact that the three things that you're most grateful for all revolve around your father's album is weird. No, that's not weird to you, because like here, let me tell you a story. When I was young, right? We had issues in the household, and I went to this therapist, and they made, not a therapist, I think it was school, and they made me draw a picture of my family. And at the time, my father was in the Marine Corps, so he was not around. And innocent little me had drew a picture of my family, but my father, my mom, me, and my dog were in the house, and outside of the house was my father. And it's a very simple picture, you know, but it reflects my real life, right? Whether I understood it at the time or not. Okay. That's just child psychology.
Right.
North is 10 years old.
Talking about the album.
Talking about albums, talking about vultures. What do you know about a vulture? Like, come on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, only what your father tells you.
What do you know about a vulture?
Bruh, like, do you know what a vulture is? Do you know what, like, the song card, like, you know, and again, she doesn't. But this is what I'm saying. Kids are so impressionable and so young. It kind of reflects what's going on in her real life. Why is that the three things that you're most grateful for? It's a little concerning.
What do you think that's going on?
I think her father is a huge part of, you know how he has a big cult-like audience?
Right.
Imagine that at home. If he can get strangers to call him Yeezus, if he can get strangers to be a part of that culture, to want to, like, you know, and they love to make it seem like, oh, yeah, you know, North is a good trendsetter because she's wearing all these clothes and she's going to show kids to follow. This is what they're saying, that sets an example of kids following their dreams and being creative and exploring those outlets. To me, I don't think that's true, because when you're exploring your creative outlet as a kid, you're not getting external validation from thousands of people around in a stadium. You're not. You're doing it because you genuinely want to, and you're a kid.
Well, what if she genuinely wants to do this?
Right. What
if she really is like, this is what she wants to do? Right. So
you would say, like, okay, so what if she's like a Miley Cyrus or like a Mac Miller, who from young knew that they were going to dance and sing?
It's giving that, though.
Yeah, you think so?
And I don't know about the rap part yet. I feel like I have to see and hear more for that, but she's definitely giving main character energy from like the jump.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know. Like, what if, like, we always say that that's a mini Kanye right there. So what if? Who knows?
I mean, this is why the conversation brings up.
She really, one thing about her, like, when I see some of her TikToks, it's very clear that she is very, you know, up to date with the pop culture. She loves music. She loves Ice Spice.
Yeah.
Like, she loves all these different artists. So, like, you know, I don't know if it's far-fetched that she likes music and wants to follow in her father's footsteps.
I agree with you, right? Like, she definitely gives main character energy, and definitely, like, you know, she's Ye's daughter, you could tell, right?
Right.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but she's 10 years old, so yeah, maybe she wants to do the rapping thing, right? But she didn't make elementary school drop out on her own. That was her father. She didn't say, oh, thank you, God, for the vultures. That's Kanye saying that to her. That's why she's grateful for it. She doesn't just come out born saying, oh, you know, and North is an ambitious girl. There's this article that had covered, it said North appeared on the cover of ID's fall/winter 2023 issue and shared what she wanted to be when she grows up. In quotation, she wrote, "A basketball player, a rapper. Well, when I was 7, I wanted to be a boxer, but now I don't want to be a boxer. I'm going to do art on the side. When I'm like 13, I want to walk dogs to make money to buy art supplies because everything around here is so expensive. So, a rapper, a basketball player, and I'm going to make artwork that I sell. Also, one day I want to own Yeezy and Skims, and I want to be a business owner." So, right, that's literally end of quote, right? That's her. So what are you telling me? You see, at 10 years old, we all wanted to be something.
Right.
That's not what we are now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like she's 10. Sure, she maybe want to be a rapper, but she also wants to be a basketball player and all these other things. So it's like she's a kid. You can't really take that to stone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not set in stone that, okay, yeah, like she's exploring like any kid. Like, I used to be, when I was a young kid, I used to want to be a rapper, and my name was Queen Y. You know, like,
yo,
it was Queen. Y'all getting some information on me today.
Queen Y.
Queen Y, baby. Inspired by Evie Queen. To all my Latinos out there, y'all know.
Queen Y.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I used to rap. Yeah.
Bitch, shut the fuck
I
up,
swear.
bitch. You know you ain't.
I had a whole shirt I made.
Jody said I used to rap. Yo, yeah.
So yeah, so it's like, you know, can you really take that to heart? She's a 10-year-old kid, and this is the thing where I feel like people are forgetting. She's a kid.
Yeah.
She's 10.
Yeah, people are forgetting.
Look,
and, you know.
So I wanted to read this because I wanted to read people's feedback on that post. You know, on the TikTok post. That was deleted, by the way.
Right.
And you only delete something when you know it's wrong or you're getting backlash for it. Somebody else had wrote, "Even Eminem didn't let his daughters listen to his music. Art or not, her dad's music is inappropriate for children. And yes, that includes his own 10-year-old child." Which I don't think necessarily that his music is inappropriate. Like, you know, it's not like North said inappropriate words. That would be a different story, right?
Right.
But it's still, to me, like a good point, because when you're exposing your child to, and this isn't just North, by the way, these are all the celebrities that do this to their children. We have this documentary coming out this Saturday on the 17th called Quiet on Set, and it explores the exploitation of children on Nickelodeon. Right. And we hear this time and time again. We hear it on Disney. We hear it about Nickelodeon. We hear all these children actors who have been, in the public eyes, successful, had all the money in the world, had everything to them. But what was messed up, what they had all in common was their psyche. They grew up too fast.
Right.
They grew up in the limelight, and there's a lot of predatory people in Hollywood. So yes, Kanye is there so he can do as much as he can to protect her. But all my parents out there, y'all know, no matter what you do in your life, you can't protect your children from everything. Right? Because what happens when, North is 15 years in the business, now she's 25 and has been, exploited to this lifestyle so much and doesn't know, how to be a kid. And then you're going to hear this. In my opinion, you're going to hear a lot of like how it fucks people up. If it did it to Justin Bieber, it did it to Britney, it did it to Kelly Clarkson, it did it to like all these people. What do you think? North is just an exception?
Yeah. Do you think North is like exempt from that shit?
Right,
like,
she's a kid.
Like she's invincible.
Right, because she's North. Like,
right, like no. Not at all.
You can't protect your kid as much as you're going to be hands-on. And this is where I feel like the exploitation comes, because it's like, you know what the industry does. You know what it is. Why would you, I wouldn't say expose your daughter, because that's just naturally, everybody knows who she is. But why would you go as far as allow for the album to be a thing? Because now your daughter is working.
Right.
She's working.
Yeah.
At 10 years old. Imagine you as a 10-year-old working. Imagine that. Who's regulating that?
Yeah, it sounds like one of those situations with Michael Jackson, how his father, and when he was in the Jackson 5, his father, it's the same shit. Well, I don't know if it's the same shit, but like his father had his dreams and he worked the shit out of his kids, especially Michael, because he was like really talented. And it was like really stressful. He was working at the age of like, what, 8?
Yeah, and look how messed up he came out. No.
Touche.
It's the truth. Like, look how messed up he came out. Like, great example.
His father really ruined him.
Yeah. So I wanted to show you a video form of what the fans are saying on like who are on your side.
The way Kanye is handling his parenting in terms of Northwest is something that we all as parents should strive to do. As a parent, you want your kid to go down the avenues that they want to go down. And if you have the means to expose them to different things, especially creatively, that's even better. So that way they can make their own decisions on what they want to do with their future. And that's what Ye is doing with Northwest, right? He's giving her the opportunities to be on the albums, go to all these different shows, feel the energy from the crowd to see if this is exactly what she wants to do. And seeing them interact, it really seems like they have a great relationship, and I do believe it's built on that, right?
I mean, that's not far-fetched. Like, what if their relationship is built on music? Like, everything about Kanye is music.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a musical genius. Like...
Yeah, I thought it was a great point. I thought it was a valid point that, you know, and I think this goes back to what I was saying before, though. Like, there's one thing to explore your creative avenues, and there's another to have an album, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to stream it. I'm pretty sure it's going to, you know, just like he wants to do with his Vultures album, it's going to be, you know, behind a paywall. And what does that mean? That means his daughter's working. That means, you know, I don't know. It just, okay, when you're exploring your life, you know, like when you're exploring as a kid, are you making money off of your curiosity? Not really. But I mean, I don't know.
I mean, these are different people. Like, they're not normal people.
That's true.
Kanye's not a normal human being. I mean, yes, he's a human being, but he's not normal in the terms of level of status.
You're right.
North is not normal either.
Speaking of not normal, his parties that he has are not normal too, right? So like his lifestyle and the things that he does, right? So there was this controversy where he had a birthday party or some type of party, and he had hired women to be naked. It's like some there's a name for it. I don't know what term it's called, but these women were naked and they had sushi. They were laying down as props, basically naked, and they had sushi on them. And the whole party, they were just there as basically a plate where you can grab your sushi from.
Right.
And who was at that party? Northwest. Northwest was at that party. So if Kanye's not a normal person and Kanye is going to protect his daughter, then why is Kanye bringing his daughter to those type of parties or having, you know what I'm saying? It's just a little off because it's like he's also not all there.
Right.
Let's call it for what it is. He's a genius, but he's also not all there. He has problems. Look at what he did to Bianca, her father. Mind you, he's an ex-convict, so I don't know his intentions of her father coming out.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yo, not the ex-con.
Yeah, because, like, you know, I don't know if he's just trying to garner attention. I don't know much information on that.
He claims that Kanye is keeping her away from the family.
But that's what I'm saying. And before Bianca was never dressing like that. She used to dress normal, and now she's out here publicly, you know, doing oral stuff to Kanye and embarrassing herself. She wears a lot of explicit clothing now, and these are the things where it's like, okay, that's the father, he's gonna protect her, but he doesn't even protect his wife, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and yeah, that's his daughter, so I'm not saying that he's not trying to protect her, but is he, you know what I'm saying? Like, the lifestyle's so normal. That's so normal. How do you know what's safe from your daughter and what's not?
With Kanye,
right, because you said he's not normal. We would easily spot it out, like, holy shit, that's inappropriate.
Right.
But when that's all over you and no one's gonna say no because there are a bunch of yes men around you, because you're Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Who's to say that you're even capable of quote unquote protecting your daughter in that type of way? I don't know. To me, the kid thing is so sensitive. I don't like family channels that do it. I don't like celebrities, and it's more than just North, that do it, because these stories don't come out of nowhere many years later about all these celebrities going through shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not fake.
You don't see Blue Ivy do it. No, let me stop.
I mean, Blueface is another good example of what you're considered normal. His normal is having strippers around. He exposes his son to strippers. He's, quote unquote, teaching his son good. Meanwhile, we know as normal people that he's fucking up his son.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So who's to say?
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say?
Mm-hmm.
Just like everyone else was like condoning Michael Jackson, since we want to bring it. They're both equally genius, Kanye and Michael Jackson.
Oh my God.
But everybody was saying yes to these little mansion boy shit. When that's not normal. Come on now. Come on now. Separate the music.
Yeah.
It's not normal.
Yeah, with the little kids, it's not.
Why? Because you know what it is?
It's not.
You don't understand something. You as the adult, right, can easily say, you know, we're just playing pretend, or it's not that serious.
Yeah, but
when
like
you're
you
a
said,
kid,
he was messed up in the head. He never had his childhood.
But
and his dad abused him physically and mentally and emotionally, like all the time, just for him to dance.
Yeah, and so I don't believe he was trying to like touch these boys, but I'm saying that supposedly in Michael Jackson's eyes, he was just playing pretend with these, living through these little kids. Right? But as the little kid, when you have someone like Michael Jackson telling you, hey, you know, we're married and we're playing house, but this is a stranger. This is, you know what I'm saying? You're playing house with someone, and you're a kid. You're 10 years old. You believe certain things. You're impressionable. You're a little innocent child. Mm-hmm. So anything a human does to you will impact you, whether the human likes to accept that or not. And I just feel like there is no regulation. And to me, I think people need to criticize more Kanye in general, because I feel like a lot of people let him go scotch-free with a lot of things because he's a genius in his creative avenue. But I just think that I just don't agree with North coming out with an album. It just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know. It bothers me. Not to say that it can't be good. It could probably be great, but it just feels like you're exploiting a kid. That's how it feels to me. Or just like
you're exposing your daughter to like certain avenues of the industry that honestly she shouldn't be exposed to at such a young age.
And you're working at 10 years old.
I mean, so how can that be? How is that different than Blue Ivy going on tour with her mother, Beyonce, and dancing?
Blue Ivy has a song?
No.
Oh, okay. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's literally the difference. If Kanye just put his daughter as voice, ad-libs and stuff like that, and was just incorporating her into the music is one thing.
Right.
But to have an entire album
debut like by herself is pretty crazy.
It's a little concerning to me.
Yeah.
And y'all gonna be mad, and I'm very curious to know what everyone else thinks, because I feel like not a lot of people are talking about this.
No, they're not.
But I'm so curious because it's like people are forgetting because they see Kanye.
Yeah.
They see North because she has a personality.
That's what's gonna happen. It's more than just like, even if North didn't have a personality, I feel like it would always be a thing because that's Kanye's daughter.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian and Kanye, they're like the top of the top. So it's like, that's North. Like, you know, it's one of those things.
And from a perspective of, because these Hollywood people, they marry and have children as almost like a business transaction, right? So like, look at Kanye and Kim. They have a superstar, and their legacy and the generations of family is going to be set for life. So in my eyes, when you put yourself in that mindset where they're always buying assets, they're always buying, you know, investments in companies. And there was a interview or a part of the show where Kanye had mentioned how he gave for like Valentine's Day or some shit, Kim a gift. And the gift was I don't know. It was something from Robinhood, stocks. Like, this is what they do. These are rich people. So this is how they gift each other. So in my mind, right, if I put myself in their position, I would love North to be successful. And I would love for her to fucking make money, because to me, that's my business. That's my branch. That's my, that's a part of me. That's another.
Look at what Nort said. She said when she was talking about what she wanted to be when she grows up, at the end, it just happened to be own Skims and Yeezy. So I just thought it was like really interesting. Like, you never know. Like, maybe that is something that they are already planting in her head.
For
and
sure.
telling her about from young, because I mean, it is their legacy. So what's going to happen when they die? You have to continue it.
For sure. Exactly. But at 10, it's crazy. To me, it's crazy. Like, let a kid be a kid, man. Like, that's just my thing.
Yeah, but you could sprinkle it in there somewhere, because you're not normal. You're not a normal kid, and we're not normal parents.
Yeah, but then you got Kanye going online talking about how Kim spoils his children, how she gives them everything he wants. You can't sit there and talk about and bitch about your ex-wife spoiling your children, but then also have, like, that mentality of, well, you guys aren't normal anyways. You know what I'm saying? It's just a hypocritical, in my opinion. I just feel like,
I don't know.
So
I feel like if I was them, of course I'd want my fucking kids to, like, continue the legacy.
yeah,
which would be bad.
It's egotistical. It's
Is
selfish.
it? How? How is it egotistical and selfish when they work so fucking hard to build that company? They work so fucking hard.
It got nothing to do with you.
Fucking, yes, it does.
When you be
Yes,
telling
it
your
does.
mom, you be telling your mom, I ain't ask you to have me. That's the same shit. I ain't asked you to fucking
but think
have
about
that
it like this. You spend all this money sending your kid to college and they don't do shit with it. That's a slap in the face. Like, I worked so hard to build this company, and I have these kids. You could help with the company, because who's going to continue it when I die?
Well,
I only trust y'all. I don't trust nobody else. Y'all could do your other shit, but still, like, take care of the company.
I'm curious to know what happens in 10 years from now, when and if and when that answer changes.
For me? Or for
North?
For North.
How many times we said we wanted to be doctors and lawyers and astronauts, and then
astronauts.
When you realize, hey, this life isn't really for me, or like I want to, I don't know, write poetry or some shit. Like, I don't know. Who knows what she's gonna be doing in the future?
You're
and
right.
what happens then? Well, I'm very curious to know I mean, yes, he has other children that can take it, but what I'm saying is, when you have parents like that live through you. Look at Jeanette McCurdy.
They're not, no, that's not even a good
live
example.
through you, but they want you to be their legacy. Like, they want you to succeed because of them, in a selfish way.
It is selfish. That I will admit, it is. But I mean, like I said, you didn't work hard for nothing.
But that got nothing to do with the kid. Why do you got to put... That's like having children and being like, hey, you have siblings and I can't take care of them, so you got to babysit them. Like, I ain't asked you to have all them kids. No, it's the same.
No, it's not.
It's not. The business
Taking
is your baby. The business is your baby.
I'm sorry, Jesse. You really gonna sit here and tell me you work so fucking hard to build, like, a fucking multi-million-dollar company, and you won't... Like, you really are going to sit there and tell your kids you could do whatever you want? You can.
But that's how they're marketing it.
You can do whatever you want.
They're marketing it as,
but you also have to, take over when I become ill or when I die. I don't care. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
This is what I'm saying. Shit. Like, this conversation wasn't for me, because we don't see eye to eye on everything with this topic.
I mean, that's fine. So do you think that North is going to set an example and influence kid rap?
No.
You don't think so?
No. I don't know, because kids bop been a thing before North. So I'm so confused what type of kid rap influence she's going to have.
Oh.
Maybe, I guess, a different... I don't know if they're trying to incorporate kid rap genre into, like, the mainstream music, maybe, but I can't see it.
Have you seen that recently? That kid, I forgot his name. Hold on. So have you heard that rapper? His name is Lil RT.
No.
All right, I'm gonna play it for you here. like 20. Yeah. You wasn't ready for that one.
Whose kid is this?
Yup.
Whose kid? Whose kid?
Should we read the lyrics?
No. Showing the video on mute is good enough.
Yeah.
Nah. Read the lyrics, bitch. Read the lyrics.
Okay. It's called 60 Miles.
That why he look like he 2 years old? Talking like
Yup.
he said, if she ain't sucking little bitch, you can get the fuck up out my 100 round, hit him with the Glock, take a down, 100 round bitch, we hitting that kill, we gonna take him down.
Okay.
12 behind me, we gonna do 60 miles.
It's
First
done.
of all,
It's done.
who the fuck wrote this shit for you? Because I know you ain't write it.
Right.
But if you did, who are you surrounding yourself with? It shows
An example of parents
Oh my
exploiting
god, that is disgusting.
their children. But
that is disgusting.
yeah, I agree.
Yo, my face.
There is
immediately,
there
yo.
is a thing called kid rap out there. Did you know that?
like adult rap for fucking kids. That's not for kids.
Bro.
Talking about she ain't sucking dick. What are you talking about?
Wait,
bro?
look at this one. Look at this one. Look at this one.
That won't be like that. I'm 5 and way too fly. When I dance the way I'm shy, this good stays on beat. Keep new shoes up on my feet.
Okay. So that right there was Gray Sky Evans. Now, to be fair, this came out 4 or 5 years ago. A few of these songs. I'm gonna play one more just to make your soul hurt a little more, and then.
Gotta stay blessed. The ladies love me cause I stay fresh, yeah. Stay fresh. I ain't gotta flex. Too fly, so fly, just like a jet, yeah. I can't stop cause I'm up now.
So, to be fair, that one is also from 4 or 5 years ago. But here's my question.
I mean, at least that one, there was no curses or anything.
Right. But
That first one was ridiculous.
the first one is actually, that's only a few months old. It's actually pretty new. He's going viral everywhere.
Yeah, because
and it's
he's
sad.
a fucking kid cursing.
Exactly, and saying outrageous things. Now, this has been a thing clearly before North had came out or whatever. Exploiting kids has been a thing. But my question to you is, now that North is in it, does it bring more eyes to parents? Do you think it brings more eyes to parents being like, you know what? I think I want you to become the next like Northwest or the rapper or.
I honestly can't even say that because I just feel like if you're a parent that's going to do that, you're going to do that regardless. You don't need North to be a rapper to do that. Like parents have been doing that shit for years.
True.
But maybe
point.
simple-minded fucking people that are like sheep that follow
She's mad
everything
now.
that everyone does, like they're the ones that are probably gonna be like, oh, maybe I can get my kid to do that. Like, no, maybe you should be your fucking self and stop following a fucking crowd. So yeah, maybe. I don't know. That first kid took me off. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that shit because my reaction, I was just, anywho, yeah, I just feel like I know what you're saying and I know the examples you brought up, but like North is not even in the same category
That's
of
true.
all of those people, those little kids that were fucking rapping, talking about shit they don't even know. They just hearing it from, other rappers or other examples that they have around them. At least North just saying shit like
You don't think North that post with her talking about vultures is literally what you just said?
That is weird. That part I will say. But the Miss Bestie, Miss Westie, like that really sounds like a kid.
Okay, I'm very curious, right? Because yes, it does sound like a kid, but what happens when that album drops? I know that entire album is not going to be Miss Westie, you're my bestie. I know for a fact it's gonna be heavily influenced.
I
by
don't
it,
think
though.
she's gonna be cursing.
I don't think she's gonna be cursing.
Yeah.
I don't think so, but I don't think it's just gonna be simple either.
We gotta see. We gotta wait and see. But let's just take it back to Kanye because I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Because, Kanye likes to think of himself as, I am a god, He likes to look at himself as this leader of the free world. I'm going to save everybody. And I just want to know, like I said earlier, like what is going on in his head? Like he really does seem like a narcissist as well as an egomaniac. I guess my question for you is the way we also know these things about him, right? And how he operates with his wife, who's 18 years younger than him.
Mm-hmm.
She's my fucking age, and I didn't even know that until today. And he's 46, and he DM'd her. Then all of a sudden they got married.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2023, they took a break because it was too much for Bianca to handle. It just makes me wonder, okay, are you the type of person that wants to be in total full control all the time? Do you think Kanye is that type of person?
I mean, you're a narcissist, of course. You want to be in control of the narrative. You want to have all hands on deck, and you want it your way.
Right. So that brings me back to the TMZ reporter where he took her phone. One of the questions that she asked him was like, oh, does she have full control? Right. And he got so mad about that.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, I really want him to answer that question. Does your wife really have full control? Does she? Answer it. Answer it. Because you're talking about all this other stuff, how you can't see your kids and Kim. That wasn't the question. The question was, does your wife have full control?
Yeah.
Because you playing fucking Build a Bitch, you know, with Bianca. You playing dress up. Like, it's like he's treating her like a real life Barbie doll.
Mm-hmm.
And like he did the same with Kim, except it was
No, he didn't.
He dressed her.
But he didn't want her to dress provocative.
That's true. He wanted her to be fully clothed.
He wanted her to be a mom.
I don't know how. Right. I don't know where the switch up went in his head.
I told you
where it was just like.
Mm-hmm. He gave into his addiction.
Talk about that. Talk about
Why?
that. Talk about it. Talk about it because we talking about it.
So Tiana wants me to tell you guys that Kanye has a sex addiction, and he has struggled with it throughout his whole career. And he talks about it. You can find interviews of him talking about it. And in my opinion, I think the switch was after the divorce. He came back into his vices. I mean, that's what happens, right? Like, you know, and it explains why Bianca is very explicit. It explains the women in naked holding sushi for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it explains those type of things because it's Kanye. But yeah, I mean.
So you think that his sex addiction contributes to how he treats Bianca?
Yeah, definitely. And his ego and narcissism and all that other shit too.
You know, when they got married, he did like you know how they got married, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't marry her the proper legal way. He did a non-legal binding marriage.
Oh. Really?
Mm-hmm. Which is very interesting to me because I'm just like, I thought this was the love of your life. I thought
That's
was
not
it.
The love of his
it's
life.
not the love of his life, but you know how they just love to talk shit.
Yeah. No.
So I just think it's interesting that
you know who was the love of his life? His mom. And people were saying that, you know, maybe he treats maybe he treats North the way he does in regards to her creative freedom because his mom did the same for him. And I thought that was a good point. And I have this video that really, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play the whole thing for YouTube, but I want to show you here. Maybe we can clip it so that we don't get copyrighted if it calls for it. But I think this is a great visual of how Kanye felt about his mother, and then maybe he's doing the same for whatever. Maybe he's doing the same for North, but check it out.
So loud for you, cause I'm so proud of you, and let me tell you what I'm about to do, mama. I know I love you so, and I never let you go. I wrote this song just so you know, no matter where you go.
That makes me so sad, because it's like, this is what I'm saying, like, I feel like really after his mother died, it was just a switch. Like he just was never the same after that.
You see that, so you see that energy and that vibe you feel even watching that now. It makes me sad. It makes me choke up a little because I'm like, you could feel the love. And maybe like there is a part of Ye where he's like, you know, shares that same type of experience with his daughter.
Right.
On, you know, having her on stage and being able to do what his mother did for him. And that was something special for him.
Right. And that's what I think it really is. Like, I don't know necessarily if he's looking at it or even thinking about that, because he's just thinking about the connection that he once had, that he wants to have with his daughter. But I guess he doesn't realize that there are, exactly, there are consequences, negative consequences that comes with, you know, exposing your kids to certain lifestyles, especially in the industry.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when you're someone who also has your own issues going on, like you said. And then it's not like his situation is kind of stable because, like,
he is not stable.
Your wife is like half naked and doing some weird shit. And then North is going to get old enough one day to find those videos and see those pictures. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, what other questions? I know you had a question. You said you had more questions. Was it in regards to Kanye? What was your other questions?
I don't really have another question. I just think it's crazy, the whole situation with Bianca, and like
it's a little suspect.
It's very sus. Like I want, a part of me wants to believe that he wants to have this connection with his daughter, right? But then another part of me is like, well, you are an egomaniac, and you always think about you refer to yourself as a god, as a leader of this free world, that you are right, you're the only one that's right, and then you want to control your girlfriend. You married a non-legally binding marriage. You married her not the legal way, because you know what it is, and you have her looking like this in public. What, for your album or for you? Like, it's just weird. It's like
a display toy.
That's what she is to me. Like, when I see her, I'm like, it don't even look like y'all really together. It looked like the bitch is dumb, and she it looked like the bitch is dumb, and she got manipulated by Kanye. And yeah, she is just his play toy, and she's aware of it. Like, I feel like she's aware of it.
Yeah, she's playing the game.
Yeah,
I don't think she's dumb. I think she looks dumb,
but I feel like she knows what she's doing. Yeah, she does look dumb, but also I do feel like, even though she may have some type of care for Kanye, I also feel like,
I mean, he must be difficult to deal with.
I mean, that's
from your experience, you know, someone who is egotistical and narcissistic, and you know that their judgment, despite their relationship with you, is never in your best intention.
No.
So and this is just personal experience, because we don't know Kanye at the end of the day. We don't know anybody.
I feel like if I ever met Kanye, we would butt heads.
But from someone who's severely narcissistic and egotistical, right? And Kanye, we see he exudes those characteristics. Do you really think that he is, like you said, capable of being able to look out for his daughter's best interest? Because is he capable with being such a narcissistic, egotistical, besides him being her father? Because you could be the father and still not be able to protect your daughter. Like, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't correlate, you know? So I just feel like, again, this goes back to your thing, and I'm asking you to use your personal experience, because I feel like it's easy to say, yeah, but that's the father and this and that, while also saying someone who's narcissistic and egotistical. Because everybody, if y'all know anybody who is truly to the definition a narcissist, you know they are difficult people to deal with. Right. You know they're stuck in their ways. Yeah. You know, even though they're wrong, they're right in their head, and will literally either use an excuse of how they're right, or gaslight you into thinking they're right, or whatever the case may be. You know it. So why are we ignoring it with Kanye?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's food for thought.
I guess maybe because we're not there to really see the relationship with his daughter.
True.
And when we do see it, it just seems like, oh,
yeah,
but that doesn't always mean anything.
Exactly.
Because,
that don't mean
those type of, I don't know. I feel like those types of situations, when it's good.
Yeah.
But then when it's bad, it's really bad.
When I saw the TikToks, I think it was one that said, "Oh, they look so cute and happy together."
Right.
And I'm just like, okay, they look like it. That doesn't mean that they are. Do you have any fucking fake YouTubers and like fake influencer
With
couples that are
family,
or families that are just they all fucking hate each other, but they stay together because of what? Because it look good, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that don't mean shit. Y'all know we play this internet game. The internet is not real. What you see is not real. Really gotta look at the context. So I feel like, yeah, they look cute and they look happy, but that doesn't validate the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep your mind open here. Don't be fooled by what they want you to believe. Because at the end of the day, there wouldn't be a market if you didn't believe it. Duh. So, of course, they're going to want you to think it's a great relationship. How else would they sell it? You wouldn't support it if you knew it was, like, fucking abusive, right? Like, duh. They're going to want you to believe it's nice. I feel like
it's one of those sticky situations. Like, again, like with narcissists, like, they're not always, and this is bad because this is how you know I'm a victim. Because I can't even right. So sometimes it feels like they're not abusing you, but then you realize they are actually abusing you, whether it's emotionally or mentally, and it's like, damn, okay, like what? Mm-hmm. I feel like it could turn into one of those situations, like as she gets older, would start to become one of those things where it's like, I don't know, it's a little weird, but you're my dad, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, you worked so hard, right? In his situation, you worked so hard, you built your legacy, you showed me everything I needed to know about music, but what relationship do you have beyond the music? Like, are you emotionally available?
Good question.
Are you emotionally available, especially with the sex addiction? You're with a 29-year-old wife. And then on top of that, like I said, everything for him is just music. So can you see me outside of music?
Very good question.
Are you a father outside of that? If we didn't have music to bond about, what would we talk about?
And that's what I was at. That's why I said what I said earlier. I'm very curious to see how this plays out in 10 years from now. And let's just say, God forbid, but North is like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Like, like I really don't. I'll sell the company and like sell it for millions. Or give it to her. Oh, she has plenty of brothers and sisters. Right. But what I'm saying is, what if she does something so out of what Kanye had expected her to do, especially if like at 10 years old, she was like fucking had a whole album and now she just wants to, I don't know.
Because I feel like there's a lot of pressure and expectations put on her. Right? At 10 years old. Yeah.
She doesn't even realize.
No, because she's just having fun.
She doesn't even realize because children are innocent. Right. So she doesn't realize the amount of impact it's even having at the moment. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we as the adults should be adults here and fucking call it for what it is. And I just personally feel like it's just not cute, in my opinion. There's one thing to feature your daughter, which I thought was cool, but the minute I heard the album release, I looked at Tiana. I'm like, girl, we need to talk about this because it's gonna bother me. I'm not okay with children working.
The album is kind of wild.
I'm not. Even like people who have had, like Miley Cyrus is a good example of someone who wanted to do that, right? She wanted to since a little girl, but she's talked about the amount of time how much of her childhood was taken from her because she was nonstop working. And we saw her public outfall. We saw her publicly do all these crazy things, finding herself in the public eye and living to these expectations of Miley Cyrus, but then wanting to be a grown-ass adult and wanted to be her own other version of Disney, like not Disney. And
Hannah Montana.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
I think it's a good conversation. I'm very curious to know what you guys think. I'm curious to know if you were even thinking about it. Do you even care? Are you going to listen to Vultures if it's not on a streaming platform? Are you going to support elementary school dropout? Do you think it's going to influence kid rap? Do you think it's going to influence? I think you make a great point that, you know, those people are going to exist no matter what.
Mhm.
But I'm curious to know what you guys got to say.
Yeah. Definitely comment if you made it this far to the video, okay? If you're listening on Apple, leave a comment and rate too. Fuck out of here. Anywho, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram. That's JESSI.strange. And where can they find you, Tiana?
You can find me on Instagram at Randomania1. You can also find us on Instagram at the Petty Headquarters. We release episodes every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Okay.
Yeah.
You can find the visual versions of this podcast on YouTube at Petty Sim Productions. And if you want to check out the funny sim talks that, you know, people are complaining that they haven't been getting, which it's on the way. TikTok, Petty Sim Productions. And yeah, definitely comment your thoughts on what you think. Do you support the idea of North debuting with her album and all that stuff?
Also, don't forget to rate the podcast on Spotify and Apple. It makes a huge difference. Thank you.
Also, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, y'all, because
we're trying to get picked up by a network.
Okay, you know that's the goal, but you know,
but we need reviews.
Baby steps.
Hey, y'all, believe in the dream.
Yeah,
we do.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. She's right. Yeah. So yes, definitely like, share, comment, all that jazz. We are available on all your podcast platforms.
What is this?
Apple,
falling asleep?
Apple, Spotify, Amazon, you know, wherever you get your podcast. And no, bitch, I'm not falling asleep. Anywho, with that being said, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, that was your weekly dose of mess.
Wow, you wanted to take it out for us. Look at you. Okay, now we got to say it together.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Wait. So let's say, without further ado. No, should I say without further ado?
Without further ado.
This was your. So without further ado, this was your weekly dose of mess.
Bye.